Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another exciting edition of your Sunday Spice. It's Love Conversation with the Love Crusader. If you're just joining us for the first time, this is the platform where we have conversations around love, around life, and relationships. We have very relaxed conversation that benefits us, that gives us knowledge, that shares knowledge about life and relationships. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss us. It's at Men Fences TV. And you can follow us on Facebook at Men Fences, like our page, so you can get our notifications. If you're on LinkedIn, you can also follow me and you'll get notification when we are live on Conversations with the Love Crusader. Thank you all so much, those who are sending in their questions, those who are sending in comments about our program. Thank you for the encouragement. We are happy that somebody is learning something. And like I will always say to people, you can just be one person you're saving, but you could be saving someone by sharing. So please feel free to share this link and share the program with someone else. I have with me this evening my very usual, this is my crew, my home base, my everything people. My co-host, we are all going to be trashing the questions and that we have for this month. Like we told you some months back, every last Sunday of the month, we now deal with your questions. We try to answer them as best as we can. And so, yes, keep sending the questions in. We want to deal with only 2 questions today because we want to be able to really trash the questions. We were a bit rushed last month during the Q&A, and it was just 3 questions we took. So we just decided we'll take 2 questions this month and really trash the issues around the 2 questions. But before we do that, I know they are no longer strangers to us if you are a regular on this platform. But let's introduce them again. Titilayo, CEO True Love Expression, is here. She's my co-host on this platform. Say hello.
Hi guys, good evening from my end. It's always lovely to be here.
Yeah, you look very radiant today. I don't
Thank
know
you,
what the
Mama.
difference. I don't know what I know what difference. Let's leave the conversation and move on. Let's put the cat in the bag. All right. I'm a very sweet and handsome man. Emmanuel Obayeje is also a co-host on this program. So I'm in with my co-host today. They are gracious people who have agreed to join me in pursuing the vision of sharing and helping people through life, sharing the experience that we also have. God said, the Bible says that we are comforted to comfort others. And that's what this platform is about. Thank you for coming, Dr. Sebo. You are welcome. Say hello to your
You're
viewers.
welcome. I'm happy to be here again. Hello,
Yeah.
everyone. Thank you. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure being here again, and we're going to have a great time, I think. Yes.
Yes. I believe we're going to have a great time. Thank you so much for coming. So, before I jump into the
Can you
question,
hear me?
last week we talked about
Absolutely.
love and separation, and I had a wonderful couple here. One of those you would even call a spirikoko. But their insights about separation was really great. And I don't want to go back to it. However, we had someone asking us a question, which of course we're going to do it next month. We are not going to be able to do with that question now, but just preparing your minds that there are a lot of questions around that topic. I'm really thinking we should bring it back again next month, or next Sunday, the separation topic, because there were a lot of questions that came in about it. Okay, anyways, we have 2 main questions we're dealing with today, and the first one is about Christians and dating, online dating, using app to find husband or wife, or finding husband or wife on social media. So the person who asked this question is actually a friend of mine. So I try not to go into too much detail so that some people believe that as Christians we should live by, not believe, that's what the Bible says, we should live by faith, and finding a spouse is a faith thing. You have to, pray, ask for the will of God, and then meet this person, yada yada yada. But now with the age that we are, of course, everything technology is technology. That's why I'm talking to us on this platform. We have many online sites, and especially dating sites, that do the work of combining people and matching people. And this person was like, that takes away the place of faith. As far as they are concerned, believers should not be using dating sites, or should they? First question. So this is our first question. Ladies first. Titi, let's start with you. What's your thoughts on this?
I don't know. For me personally, it is kind of strange that this is even coming up as a question, because I'm trying to understand how that takes the place of faith. Is faith without works not dead? So what are we talking about here? What exactly do these dating sites do? That's the question. And you making use of apps or social media, that's the action of the faith part now. That's the way I see it. So the real question is, if we say we are believers, what are your chances of seeing a fellow like-minded person, like you, that shares the same values as you on, say, a dating site? So the issue is not even the dating site in the first place. The question is, do you know what you're looking for? And if you know what you're looking for, are you going to find someone with the qualities that you seek, or that you should be seeking on a dating site? So I think that's what we should be dealing with. I know that with dating site comes, it's like there are a lot of sharks inside the water, so you're dealing with more sharks. That's the way I see it. When you make use of this dating site. So now you need to be extra careful. You need to scrutinize some more. It's a whole lot, but if you can handle it, why not? Then social media own, I don't know. It's like saying now, because the world has become a global village. So it's like saying now that is it okay to meet someone at the mall? That's how into our lives social media is. So if I can meet someone at the mall and date the person, I can as well meet the person on social media. The question again is the values you should be seeking, the qualities you should be seeking. Would you be able to identify them when you meet someone, say on social media or on dating apps? So for me, it's okay if you're going to meet this person on dating apps, but would you be able to? What are your chances of seeing that person with the qualities or the values that you should be seeking on those apps? That's the question for me.
Okay. I think we need to also talk about what's going on these apps to an extent, so that people can understand where this question is coming from. Because on some dating apps, like you said, there are sharks. There are a lot of deception going on. You have some people putting pictures that don't really say who they are. And you are supposed to get matched by just looking at this person's, maybe their thoughts, or they write a bio or something about themselves. Yes, I went to a dating app to just research before I came here. I tried to look at one dating app before I came here to talk about this program, so I can get a view of what's going on there. But I don't have a profile. Oh. Don't look for me. You don't see me there. I'm married. Okay, so from my understanding of it, you put a picture. You said this is you, your interest, your like, or short comments about you, and then these guys also do that, and people scroll through those pictures and see somebody they think they like, and then they connect. So they start chatting, and maybe if they can finally meet each other face to face. Sometimes you might have to chat more than one or two persons. You might have to also go out with more than one or two persons, because you might go out with someone and you don't click, and then you now go out with another one, and then maybe go out to the third one, and maybe go out to the fourth one. And if you are now blessed or lucky, let's use the word lucky, because now it's looking like a game of chance, you now might find someone who actually is the same with you, or who has the same interest with you, and a connection is made. So this tumbo, how will I put it? How do I explain it? Let me use our local balance. That game of chance, I think for me, is what makes this person feel that it's not a faith thing. Why should Christians be involved? Dr. Seba, what do you think? He's a bit delayed in response, but I think he can hear us.
Okay, so yeah, you can hear me. I may be having technical difficulties. I will check on that shortly. However, as it relates to that question, well, it's a very simple answer from the way I see it.
Okay.
All these apps and social media platforms, they're really opportunities to meet people. And there's nothing wrong with meeting people. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. In terms of what you do with them, how you go about them, all the nitty gritty details surrounding them, that's a different conversation. Social media platforms, absolutely. You're looking for something, seek and you would find. So you keep searching. The other part of it that I wanted to make note of, if there are even Christian apps and Christian platforms. Before I got married, I joined one of them, but it was too complicated for me, and I was too busy. I'm not a big social media person, so it didn't really
I've heard
work
that
out
one
for
today.
me. I was on one temporarily, and it didn't work out. I was like so. Does that mean that Let me use a biblical example, since we're trying to be spiritual about the topic. The Bible says that Abraham told his servant to go to a certain place and to pick a wife from there for his son. Now, that is as arranged a marriage as anybody would see. It was a very, very straight, arranged situation. Of course, he prayed. Of course, he got there. And if you read that scripture, he was not there for 5 minutes. It wasn't as though he landed and Rebecca landed at the same time. He was there. He probably saw so many ladies. He was busy evaluating, busy asking them, could you give me a drink? Maybe somebody said, okay, I can only give you a drink. I can't give you animals to drink. I mean, think about the experience. The only difference is Abraham's servant was the one having this direct experience. We might as well substitute Isaac and put him there and say Isaac was there looking for who to get married to after praying and trusting God, but he was asking so many different ladies. And eventually, the one that did what he already had in mind, which tallies with what Titi said about being like-minded in compassion, in purpose, all those many things. But he went to a certain place and then met that person, and then that's how that worked out. So all that to say, social media is a platform. It's a place where you meet people. Now, it doesn't stop you from praying. It doesn't stop you from trusting God, and it doesn't stop you from looking out for good values. If you're just going to social media to look for somebody that looks beautiful, good luck. You may be deceived. But if you're going in there and you already have preconceived values, things that you want to things that are important to you that you're looking for there. You may meet several people and get the chance to choose. It's the same thing as going to church, in my opinion, to find somebody to get married to. Yeah, church, you say everyone, they're all Christian sisters, praise the Lord. But I don't want to go into how there's no guarantee that marrying somebody that you met in church and you're going to last forever. But the point is, you meet several people and you try to see which one works out based on what you're looking for. I think that these apps, depending again, there are some apps there, they are not really, really dating apps. They are apps for other things that are way ungodly. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking of places where you meet people, you get to know them a bit more, and stand a chance of going out on a date to know them better. I think that's fine, done the right way.
Okay, so I like that you mentioned that last part of it, and I think that's where the issue is. People equating all dating apps and all dating sites as the same. Like you said, there are some that are really, really not nice and not good. And in fact, I heard, because the one I went to was also a Christian dating site to just have an overview of what the dating site looked like. It was a Christian dating site. But I've heard that, some post nude pictures, and, that can maybe encourage lust. They even enhance the pictures. So somebody who has very small breast, for example, when you now when the person put their picture, the site enhances the breast to look bigger, and maybe stuff like that, which is deception. Which is deception in itself. And I think this is one of the major reasons why some people may frown at it. But like someone has said here, that it's part of development and growth. In this side of the world, it might not be a problem, but Titi, you're in Nigeria. Do you think Nigerians can
in our fatherland
can embrace
the problem?
Can really embrace this development?
A Christian sister, a practicing, believing Christian sister.
Should she be there?
That's the problem.
Also, not even just Christian believer.
No. If you're talking about
our African culture, why should a lady go and be advertising herself, so to speak?
If you are talking about African culture, they've been doing this thing right from the times of our mothers' mothers. Is that not how they used to find husband? There were no dating sites then, but there were physical sites, physical people that will even scrutinize and say, okay, this is the person, matchmaking going on all over the place. So that has been happening. Talking about our culture is the spiritual aspects, in this part of the world, that is probably being frowned at. And I understand where they are coming from, people that frown at it, because it's because of these things that we're talking about. Like I said earlier, you are going to be dealing with a whole lot more. You have to filter through deception, filter through pride, filter through, it's just a whole lot that you need to deal with. So can you handle that and still maintain your values? Would you be able to sift through all of that and still be able to pick someone that still has those similar values that you share and beliefs that you share? It's just a whole lot. But there are people that have E for energy. They have this energy. They have this talent, So I think maybe it's a bit better if it is a Christian dating site, a little low, because there are all manners of people everywhere. Because probably there will be rules, as to how to do these things. So in that aspect, maybe a little bit better, But if you just go to the general dating site like that, as a practicing, believing Christian sister or Christian brother, I don't know. I fear for you, So it is where we'll be praying for you. When you get there, you come back and tell us.
We are going to put Dr. Sebo on the spot because he has exposed himself. He said he was on
one before. So he will tell us how the
experience was. How was it? You have to tell us how was it. Don't mention it. We don't want to know the one you were on, but how was the experience before you bowed out of it? Just, just share.
Well,
Was it a Christian dating site?
ah, it's been a long time ago now,
Okay.
but I can't remember if it was a Christian dating site. You said I should mention the name of the company or something, but I can't remember. I don't think it was a Christian dating
Okay.
site. I do remember, however, that they did require a lot of personal information. So that was the first thing I was careful about that concerned me. Like I said, I'm not a giant, I'm not a big fan of social media. So when certain level of details are being asked, in terms of providing information about yourself, I was a bit cautious. And just because, they're asking everybody for this information doesn't mean people are being genuine, right? So I had to be careful and I had to ask myself if it was worth my time. I joined, I started giving in some information. They were trying to provide a few people that they felt based on so they ask you questions, for example, about your belief system. They ask you I think they even ask some scenario style questions about life and ideologies. And based on that, they make recommendation, or we think you may like this person, or we think you may like that person. And the truth of the matter is, it wasn't working because I was initially in the general aspect of it where you needed to now start paying for them to make those recommendations of people to you. And like I said, I was too busy to pursue that thing at that time. So I left it. But I am not against it. It's the real key. If there are people that they're so busy with work and other things that their life is not very great right now.
Yeah.
So this may be an opportunity for them to meet people, so it's not too restrictive. There are those we had, for example, pandemic that happened where even if you always want to be in church and meet church people, it just wasn't going to happen for what, 2 years in this part of the world where I am. And if you still want to meet people, you have to at some point open yourself up to the possibility of using social media platforms. So you're meeting people. It's okay to meet people. See, if you have a good intention, then you trust. That's the prayer part of it. Bible says he leads you beside still waters. If you have enough faith to believe that it doesn't matter from what corner of the earth, God will connect me to the right person for me, then step out and don't be afraid. Meet people, of course. I mean, take precautions where you can, but then meet people, get to know them. That's to make a decision. I guess I'm on the other side of the fence from everybody, but I don't see any reason why Nigerians, Africans, or anybody else. I don't see any reason why they cannot use such platform. See, I believe in prayer again and again. I believe in the will of God and all that. But the will of God is not against social media. It's not. What if God's will is for you to meet your spouse on the dating app? Why do you narrow your view about God to it must be like this? You know, God
I
God
think
isn't
it's the
restricted,
exposure. I think is that fear of exposure. What are you people exposing yourselves to? Like I
Absolutely.
said, sharks. I'll be using sharks. Shark, there are so many. You are just going to put yourself in so many deep waters. So you need to be able to be smart enough to
Mhm.
navigate. Another issue is
Exactly.
the average believer, especially in this part of the world. It's no insult. I'm just saying. No, when you have been so cocooned, you know, coming out, you are a bit scared. So the question is, are you grounded enough to be able to withstand whatever it is that comes at you when you find yourself in these dating apps? The average, let me use Nigeria as an example. The average Nigerian believer just feels okay from work where I'm restricted and you feel every other person is condemned, straight to church where I feel I do the way it's just the cycle. Everything is just restricted. So when you now step out into the bigger world, you're like, all these people here are just sinners. Everybody, But if you are exposing yourself over time as a practicing, believing Christian, you know, when you step out, it's a bit, you are less scared, you are sharper, you are smarter. So the question is, how grounded are you? So it's not really these dating apps per se, it is you. Can we trust you with these people?
Yeah, that's the question. Because I'm happy you're hitting the nail on the head. Some they'll say, oh, you can't trust people, but can you even trust yourself? Let's start from there.
Exactly.
You know, I'm one person that is up for it. You know, in fact, I'm hoping that in the near future, I can start one myself. I want to start a Christian dating site and get people to come together, because I love to see love. You need to see me watching wedding videos, not my own or of other people, and smiling and grinning from ear to ear. Like, I just love love. And I feel and I believe that no one is, well, Bible might say some people are called to singleness, but no one is actually created to be an island. There's someone out there for you if you really, really take the time to find or search, you know. So, but
the environment, the one you'll be creating, will be a safe environment, I believe.
That's you can't guarantee it, because you can't determine, you cannot 100% determine who comes on. Yeah. But
to a large extent, it will be a bit controlled.
Yes.
As against free for all, anything is okay.
In fact, in my head, I'm thinking of ways that I can make it safe by, maybe, for example, saying, if you say you're a believer, before you can join the site, I might have to get maybe confirmation from your pastor. Who is your pastor? Who is your church? You know, something like that. Let them sign off on you truly being a believer. Like, you really have to be known to be a believer. I'm just thinking it in my head anyway. So it's a dream. It's a dream. I don't know if God is going to give me the grace to get it, but it's something I would really love to be able to do for people, to be able to connect people together. It opens your world. It opens your world. It gives you a wider opportunity to meet more different kind of people. And for me, I think you are restricting yourself. If, like you said, like Dr. Ima was saying, people are busy these days. For a lot of people, it's work, especially Christians, work, church, home, work, church, home. We don't club. Some Christians club, but we don't encourage it. So where would you meet people? Mall. We do online shopping. I can't remember the last time I went to a mall. So if I were to be single and somebody is waiting to catch me in the mall, the probability might be 20%. You get what I mean? So we're shopping online. Our lives are online. Why can't we date online? However, like Titi has been hammering, and I agree with it totally. Know yourself. Know yourself. Know who you are. That's number one. And then you can now know what you're looking for. I remember asking a guy, because I've been doing this matchmaking thing without a website. Like Titi said, it's been with us for a long time, the matchmaking. I have lots of couples that God has helped me to matchmake, and they're married, happily married, I must say. I think I don't have a record of divorce of anyone so far. So thumbs up. The dating site might really work. Anyway, but what I always ask them first is, go and write for me 10 qualities you're looking for in someone. And you'll be surprised at how that is a difficult thing for some people. If somebody cannot say, this is who I'm looking for, then it means that even if you see what you're looking for, you will not recognize it. And then you can get on this dating site that is full of sharks. It's like a big sea and a big ocean with all the nice fishes and still the dangerous fishes. So you can get there and then you swim so much you get lost because you don't even know what you're looking for. So that would be our first advice. That would be my own first advice. Know yourself, like Titi said. Know yourself, know the values, know what you're looking for. And Dr. Sebastian said it too. the place of prayer. And that's where faith comes in. So it's not faithlessness. We're not playing God. We're not taking the place of God or the Holy Spirit. There is the place of prayer also in doing it. Let God show you the God, the person that does not mind should not even come to my profile, should not even chat me up, or the sharks there, Holy Spirit, guide me away from them. Yes, you can pray about anything and everything. In fact, pray about what sites to go and join. I think that's, for me, is where faith comes in. You can pray and be led to join a particular site. So we're not saying take God out of it. We're not saying be mechanical about it and just do it only in that mechanical way. Don't how will I call it? Don't hinder. Don't limit. Yes, let me use that word. Don't limit what God can do and who God can. I mean, I know a couple here in the UK. They are my friends, and we went to their house. They are sweet. They are a sweet couple, and I just threw it at them. How did you guys meet? I said, we met on the dating site, and I was like, oh, really? And they're one of the sweetest couples. They've been married 8 years, so they're one of the sweetest couples I have met. So it's possible, it's doable, and being a Christian should not stop you from going there, but then go with that intention to say, I know what I'm looking for, I've prayed about it, and I'm led to go there. I like the way Dr. Sabo is smiling.
If I may add to that, in fact,
Yes.
some people would find, again, if you're not a computer and all these things friendly, then yes, be careful. But if you're into social media and you're a guru at navigating, you know the language, you know what people say, what they mean with certain terminologies, by all means. Now, the other positive I want to add to this is, typically, say somebody goes to a church to, the person is going to worship God, but at the same time want to get married to. The process is still the same. You meet the person, you yourself. If you like the person, then you set up the possibility of a date. If both people agree, you meet up, you try to know each other. You try to understand each other's likes, dislikes, background, all that good stuff. One of the things that dating sites does for people is it actually gives them a big head start, because you would have already told these sites your likes, your dislikes, your background, so many things, and they put all these things into their algorithms, and they come up with a kind of match of what they think would be most suitable based on all the information you provide. And then you then people, meaning you have narrowed down what you would ordinarily be exposed to so many. You narrow it down and you find that you have common ground with these people, and it's a lot easier to go from there. I just wanted to give a positive spin to it.
Thank you so much. Looks like they've done what they know how to do best in
You're welcome.
Nigeria. I'm not going to talk more than that. Sister Titi,
Honestly.
the Lord is your light.
But I hope you can still hear me though.
We can still see you, even if it's a little dark. We can even see and hear you, so no problem.
Okay.
All right, let's move to the next question. So this one, for me, I don't even know whether I have an answer, but I trust the Lord to use the wisdom of Sister Titi and Brother Emmanuel to help us today, because the thing, there's a way they say it in our local place, say the thing hold me for mouth. Okay, so this couple, they've been married for years, and 11 years going on, she said. Her husband has, so this person sent us this question after our conflict conversation, when we're talking about what are the issues, the things that raise conflict. So she said this is a particular area of conflict in their marriage. Her husband has a habit of spending money, buying things without telling her. And they are operating a joint account. It's not buying things like shirts for himself. It's not buying boxers. It's not buying, it's not, they're not frivolous spending, so to speak, in quotes. So, but she feels like she's not being carried along So she can just go to work and come back and meet a new couch in the sitting room. The husband has bought a new couch and has changed the couch in the house. Or, something for the children. Just change the children's bed. Or just change the car. There's no conversation of, oh, this car is old, we need to replace it. And she's had the conversation with the man to say, I know you mean well. I'm not saying that these things you buy are bad, but we are supposed to sit together and have a conversation and say, okay, we want to change our couch. What color are we changing it to? Don't I have input? Don't I have the right to say, this is the kind of couch I like, or this is the kind of couch I don't like? Why would I just wake up in the morning and my husband has brought in a different car or a different property or something like that? So she says she's had this conversation with him and he feels, well, it's part of him being the head, number one. He doesn't want to stress her with those decisions. She should not be thinking too much. He should be doing the thinking for the family. So now they're at a quagmire, as the lawyers will call it. He's justifying his actions. He's not understanding what she's saying. First of all, she asked me, she said, am I wrong? Am I being difficult by saying I should be carried along? So I think that's where we should start from. What would she do? That's the second part of the question. The first thing is she right in her thinking to say, it's only normal for you to carry me along in these things and in this decision making? It's not just in the spending of the money as it is not being carried along. I think that's my understanding of where the problem is. And then secondly, what can she do now? Because it's becoming a point of conflict for her. So who wants to start? Should we go ladies first?
Ladies have gone first already.
Okay, guys, start now.
I'll start. So I feel you is the first thing I'll say to anyone in that situation. Money, like we established, can be really, really tricky. If you're doing joint accounts, beautiful. I love joint accounts. I support it a lot because it shows they are no longer two but one. Again, that's my perspective. Please, nobody should be upset if you're not doing joint account. It's fine, okay? But if you're now joint and we have a common purse, I think that it is a sign of good stewardship as well as a sign of respect for your spouse, for you to have conversation about how you use the finance. Regardless of if one person is the breadwinner, the other person isn't working, it doesn't matter. As long as it's a joint account, it is no longer mine, it is our. And if you say it is we and our, and that's the language, then decisions cannot just be made with I and me. There has to be we. What do you think about this? Now, the way I discuss this, the way I've had a conversation about this with other people is sometimes a spouse may not want to feel like they're always taking permission. You're not taking permission from your husband or wife if you actually disclose to them your intentions for the family finances. It's not necessarily a case of, do you permit me? But it's a case of, this is what I am trying to do. What do you think about it? Do you have a better idea regarding this thing I'm trying to do? How can we make it better? Because ultimately, whatever is done with the finances of that home is going to impact both parties. So it is not very fair, in my opinion, for one person to make a financial decision and not try to, at the very least, let the other person know, this is what I'm doing money, or this is what I intend to do. In fact, the worst is where somebody actually just goes to use the finance, doesn't think it's necessary to disclose to their spouse until maybe several weeks or several months later, the spouse realizes, oh, you actually used that money. And now you're going, yeah, it's fine. But it does not foster trust. Okay, so if you're operating a joint account system, discuss it with your spouse as much as you can.
Okay. So I just picked something from what you said now about trust. So it means we agree that she's right in her thinking to say this is not right. This is not how we should be from what you've said now. How does this break down trust, Sister Titi? Do you agree that it doesn't foster trust?
Oh yeah, definitely. It does not because right now she's finding it difficult to trust the guy, you know. Let me first of all say that if you're listening, you're not crazy. It's not wrong what you're asking for. And you're not asking for too much. You know, you're not asking for too much. Despite the fact that it's a level of understanding that the guy has to come up to. You are better informed, you are more aware. You are waiting for him to come up to that level of understanding. But you cannot put your life on hold while you're waiting for him to come up to that level of understanding. And what I mean by putting your life on hold is you can't continue to be perpetually sad or unhappy or, you know.
About it.
Yes. So you have to free yourself from that situation. Yes, it kind of affects trust, you know, because if he trusted her with the right information or if he values her input and all that, he would request for it. I don't believe this idea, this saying, I don't know which of them said it, that I don't want to stress you. Stress me. I want to be stressed. Ask me. I want to know, you know. So I don't believe if she's the one telling herself that to make herself feel better, well, but I don't think it's because he doesn't want to stress you.
He's the guy that
okay.
saying, I don't want to stress you. You know, I know what is good for the family.
So you tell him, please go ahead and stress me. I want to be stressed when it comes to things like this, since he seems not to get it, you know. And the fact that it's even a joint account, you have broken that trust of joint account. So it's no longer a joint account because you are the one making all the decisions, you know. But what does that tell the woman? If she's not making her own money, you should start making your own money. Yes, you have joint accounts, but you should have your own personal private account, because anything can happen at any time. Today is a couch. That's true. Today is a couch. Tomorrow is going to be something bigger. You know? Yes. And it's true. And if he begins with little things like this, one day chances are that he will put the whole family in trouble. So you need to create a safety net for yourself and for your family, because you don't know. Yes, because you don't know what he might come up with tomorrow.
Encouraging division.
No, it's not encouraging division. So, the so-called joint account is still there to give yourself peace, because that's one of the things every woman wants from your marriage. That's security. She doesn't have it anymore, and that's what's making her. That's one of the things making her unhappy. So yes, maintain the joint account, but have your own money, have your own savings. If it's possible, do your own thing. That will ease your mind, because right now her heart is like, see what he's doing, he's not involving me. But if you have the capacity to do your own thing, it will make it the situation a bit milder. You can go like, okay, if he comes home today and he says he has bought a couch, I'm like, okay, lovely. You see from the aspect of, okay, it's for the family. So that's nice. It's not a big deal. If you're able to go out and buy stuff for yourself and he doesn't frown at it, fantastic. Your mind is no longer that so hung up on that scenario or on that situation. So my advice to her is, if you're not making your own money, start making your own money. Start saving up for yourself, because I mean, anything can happen really, so that you'll be able to free your mind to love on the guy. He might not even be a bad person. You know, he might not just understand it like that. Like the reasons he's giving. I don't want to stress you.
I hear you, Titi. But look at it this way. Okay. If we say free your mind, and I'm going to let Dr. Sabot say something, because I see there's something burning in his mouth that he wants to drop. Hold on, I'm coming. See it this way, for example. So we're saying, yeah, she can just have her own safety net, which I agree with. I mean, that's how I operate as a person. You should have your own safety net, whether a man or a woman. Don't take everything away from each other. But If, for example, you go and buy a couch, I'm one person that I like what I like. So you buy a couch now, you bring the couch, and I don't like the couch. How am I going to still have peace sitting and using that couch? Sister, there'll be problem. That's the truth. Maybe I'll never use that sitting room again, pata pata. If you don't want me to sit there. You get what I'm trying to say? It will be hard for her because he's expecting them to use these things together. It's not just that he's making this decision for the both of them and for the whole family. So it's a matter of, if I buy you these shoes and you don't like them, you are forced to wear them because I have already bought them. That's where the problem.
No. See, you're not forced to wear anything, because you see, as it is now, she has been talking to him about it, and he seems not to get it. So leave the matter. Don't talk to him about it anymore. Okay. Allow him to express himself. Okay. If he buys stuff for you, you are not happy about it, or you don't like it, you say thank you. I would have preferred so and so. Maybe you tell me next time if you want to buy me stuff, and just leave it at that. If you keep hammering on the issue, nothing is going to change. Yeah. So leave it at that. And that's where empathy comes in. Because if you are the one in that position that her husband is now, you will want someone to extend empathy to you. You want them to be patient with you now. It's easy when you're not the one and it's the other person. You want them to change fast. You want them to do your bidding. But if you are the one, and I'm sure there are other things that the husband too might be accepting or tolerating, in quotes, with regards to her. So apply empathy when it comes to that situation and say, okay, let me take your word for it. You don't want to stress me, but okay, no problem. That's why I said to free herself, to free her mind. You got to make your own money, sister.
I get your mentality. Okay, let me let Dr. Sebo say something. I'll come back to that. We are waiting for you, Dr.
Okay,
Sebo.
So many things have been said here. So let me assume the person that asked the question because she loves the concept of maintaining a joint account in the family.
Definitely.
So with that assumption in mind, because it's totally okay. There are situations where people don't do joint account. It's not a sin, right? So, but if the goal, if the desire, if what she loves, and it could even be a man that's having this experience where the wife just goes on her own tangent and does what she wants with money. If you're dealing with that situation and it's been recurring for a long time, weak to jais. Okay, wisdom is profitable to direct. If this person, because I know some people, they just love the feeling of personal control they have to be able to just get up, go buy what they want to buy, or go do what they want to do with money. It's not even about the spending. It's the fact that they have a sense of control, all right, to be able to do that. So it's fine. Re-strategize. Instead of having all of the family's finances in one joint account, why don't we have a percentage system? Say, for example, we break our finances into 80-20. 10% of our finances goes into your personal account. The other 10% goes into my account. 80% of our finances go into our joint account. If you do that every month over a space of time, you will have some money personally to spend on whatever, whenever, however, wherever, and still feel a sense of autonomy. And I will not feel cheated because I'm 10% in my account. Even if I am the save till you die kind of person, then I'll just still have it there and never have the feeling of, well, you're just doing everything by yourself. Yeah, you can. We've already given you the opportunity, or we've made room, because Sister Titi mentioned something very important. You don't want anybody to feel bound in a marriage or relationship. So if you have a certain way that isn't working, sit with your spouse, come to an agreement, re-strategize. And if re-strategizing means, okay, joint account is not working for us, it's causing more heartache than joy, everybody keep your finances separate, and this is what we bring to the table. Or we do joint account, we pay, the way me and my spouse used to say those days is mother. So every month we get paid, and then you do whatever you want with your own part of the money. And then when it comes to using the money that is central in the joint account, we have to agree to have a conversation about how it is being spent. That strategy, it doesn't have to cause conflict. And again, if it's not working, Look for another way. There's always a way that we can work in peace.
I
Doc, it's
think
like
for
you
this
don't
woman,
understand what this woman
wait,
is
wait,
saying.
you people should
She's
hold on.
talking and the man is not hearing. That
Hold
is
on.
the issue.
Yeah, that's one of the problems. The other part is I think we're focusing more on the money. She's not really much more, she's not as troubled about the money as the fact that she feels neglected. She feels not being carried along. It's the decision making, you know. And I think it's not even just about, she used that as an example. For me, I think if he's doing that with money, he must be doing that with other things. So maybe he's making some other decisions without telling her. You know, I know a couple that the issue of visits and visitors became a problem. So if the man's people are coming to visit, there's no notice. You are just in the house, bam, somebody brings bag. And they're not coming for 1 or 2 nights. This person is maybe planning to stay with you 2-3 weeks. The man has been informed, or the woman has been informed that the person is coming, but did not tell the spouse. So for her, it's a question of why is he making decisions without her? Not her not being carried along. It's more the problem, much more than, I mean, like money, like we all say now, money, we can separate
Right.
money now. It's easy to separate money, but
Right.
for her, it's about
Right.
why is he not running decisions by me? Why does he not see me as maybe intelligent enough to have
Yes.
a say in the decision making process?
And what you're describing is very common in Christian homes. Let me just say the truth.
True.
Because so many see their role in Christian homes.
True.
You know, that headship that we've talked about. Oh boy, can't believe this. Can't believe this. This phone is plugged. What the heaven is wrong with this thing?
We can hear you. What's wrong with the phone? Is it going off? Go on, Titi. You can talk while he's trying to fix whatever is wrong with his phone. Can you hear me, Titi? Hello? Anybody home? Okay, Dr. Seba was trying to say that the concept of headship is what is making it, some Christian men believe that this is what, I think my husband just sent a comment and was saying that's not how you show headship. He said intermittently you can surprise the family with such purchases, but don't make it a trend or a way to show headship. So I think this is the point Dr. Sabo was trying to make, to say, because some people believe the Bible says, oh, I'm the head of the house, I have to make the decisions, I have to decide what we buy, what we do, and what we don't do. I'm the one who says A, and it is A. You are not the Alpha and Omega. You are the head. But then, like they will say in our local parlance, what is the head without the neck? It is the neck who turns the head around. And we are a team. We are a team. In marriage, in relationships, it should be about us being a team. And teamwork means that we have to carry each other along. You don't work in a team alone. If you're alone, you're making decisions alone, you're deciding stuff alone, then it's no longer a team. It's just you. So whether it's a man or a woman, as far as relationships are concerned, you need to understand that it's teamwork. You both need to be making decisions together. You both need to be having conversations. I like the 3-step here. As also brought up by my husband, says discuss, dialogue, and agree on every single step. Discuss, dialogue. So I think that's a new process for those who might want to ask, so how do I go about it? So that's a very good one, an excellent process that has been given by my husband there. Say discuss, dialogue, and agree on every single step. So that's our encouragement for you. That's our advice we can give. And for the sister who's there, pray. The hearts of the king are in God's hands. He can change his heart. Don't give up talking. Keep dialoguing. Keep discussing. But don't be Don't be angry about it. Try not to make it a point of conflict. Like, you said when you asked us the question that this is a point of conflict in your marriage. Try not to make it a point of conflict. Look for avenues, easier ways to have the conversations around it. And if possible, maybe involve a third party to counsel you both on how this decision making affects you, and how you're not being carried along makes you feel. All right, so I think technical difficulties has taken off my co-host this evening. However, we have already answered the questions. Our first question was about the use of dating sites and social media in finding a spouse, especially for those who says they are Christians and believers. Someone said they did not see it as an act of faith. I hope we've been able to answer your question. Use it properly and use it appropriately. It is not faithlessness. It is a blessing. Social media can be a blessing. It can also be a curse. It depends on how you use it. So we have given a few tips. Know yourself. Know the values you represent. Know what you're also looking for before you join a site. Pray also about it. That's where faith comes in. Pray and trust God to guide you to the right site. There are Christian dating sites. If you're a Christian and you're afraid of what might be going on in the non-Christian dating site, please use a Christian dating site so you can find people of like mind. It can be God's way of matching you with someone. If you want to be single, it's fine. Some people have been called to singleness. But if not, please don't cheat yourself out of an experience. Expand your cycle. It could be an opportunity for you to expand your cycle. Respond to those messages. People who are sliding into your DMs on Instagram, on Facebook. I know that there are some people who are annoying. Let me use the word annoying. But you could be chatting with your you could be chatting with your husband, you could be chatting with your wife. A lot of people have made themselves on social media, and yes, it's possible and it's doable. Go there and be honest yourself. Be open to the system and trust the system to give you what you're looking for. Trust the system and God to give you what you're looking for. And for the person who doesn't feel carried along, couples, please carry yourselves along in decision making. Use the DDA that has been prescribed for us today. Discuss, dialogue, and agree. It is a teamwork. We are a team, and we must communicate with each other. We have to discuss with each other as a team. There's nobody that doesn't have anything in their head. Even if you feel that you are more knowledgeable than that woman, you are more exposed than the man, there might be one thing. I always say that you can learn from anyone and everyone once you're open to learning and you're willing to learn. All right, this is where we'll draw the curtain tonight on Conversation with the Love Crusader. Once again, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channels. You can go watch past videos if you miss the online sessions. There's a whole lot of content, a lot of things that we can learn from on this platform. There is also the Facebook page at Men Fences. Please follow us, like the page, so you don't miss any of our notification. We are also there on LinkedIn. We are currently live there on LinkedIn, so you can also follow me on LinkedIn. It's at Oko Joseph Omotese Comfort. All right, until we come your way again next week, we are going to come back with a conversation around love and separation, and how Christians can use it, and how separation can work for us or not. Okay. See you next week. Have a love-filled week. Thanks again to my co-hosts. Sorry about the technical issues. You'll see them again very soon next month. And God bless you.